Many people know what cheating is in Yu-Gi-Oh! Top-decking specific cards that you need, hiding cards in your sleeves like your Bandit Keith, but what if you had a different kind of cheating? Something that really didn't matter for the most part, almost at all, ever, but is considered cheating by the most strict version of the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG rules. And if you like this sort of video, tell me more about it in the comments. Let me know what you'd like to see next. Way back in the ancient old times of October 2019, Asian Persuasion uploaded a video that involves a certain individual playing a Mystic Mind deck. Now I understand, y'all will want to hate him just based on that, but I'll give you a slightly, actually much less legitimate reason to hate on this guy. I'm not giving his name, there's no witch hunts, we're not gonna be mean here. I just want to have this as a point of discussion for us to talk about today.
Dark Baltar the Terrible, we got Ryu Sensei, we got Darkblade the Dragon Knight.
Oh, your freaking goat deck, bro. Is that Hobby League?
Yeah, Hobby League.
Jesus.
No one called me on it. No one called me on it. No one called me on it.
Whew, thank God. Send your extra.
Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Hobby League cards are technically illegal cards to play in Yu-Gi-Oh! Konami didn't print these cards exactly, it was, well, Hobby League, meaning it's Upper Deck Entertainment, the people who ran Yu-Gi-Oh! Before Konami scooped it up and basically ran the whole thing entirely. That's a whole history lesson I don't want to get into right now, but I'm sure you can look it up somewhere. The idea behind the fact that you can't use Hobby League cards isn't the fact that they were made by Upper Deck or anything like that, it's that they are noticeably thicker. I want you to pick up any Yu-Gi-Oh! Holo card that you have laying around on your desk or nearby in your room. You'll notice that the foiling is inside the card to a degree. The foiling isn't an external layer, like you can see that with Supers, Ultimates, even Ghost Rares and Prismatic Secrets. But with Hobby League, if you look at the Ultra Parallel Rares, which are basically almost all Hobby League cards, they are an extra set of foiling on top of the card. This makes it about a couple tenths of a millimeter thicker, which is noticeable. So why does it matter that any card is a Hobby League would be banned just because it's thicker? Well, think of it this way. If you can call a judge over for your opponent shuffling their graveyard, because you may run question, if you can call a judge over for chaining drop-off to your opponent shuffling their hand during their draw phase, you can do this. Basically, one of those cards would be Shifting Shadows to move around set cards if that card got Book of Moon or something like that. Does that sound ridiculous? Yes. Is it entirely justified? In a way, I believe it to be, especially for main deck stuff. Like, main deck, you just have an adverse advantage when shuffling. You can put that card to the top, to the bottom, wherever in your deck. If you just put it to near the bottom of your deck every time, it's as if you have a 39 card deck. You can think of it that way, because you know that you're not going to be drawing that. Even if your opponent cuts, if they don't notice, you know where it is, you can just kind of manipulate it like your Arcana. But why does it matter in the extra deck? Well, what cards matter in the extra deck? Pot of Extravagance and Cynet Storm. Cynet Storm matters because it shuffles the extra deck, same reason why you can't have it in the main deck, so I don't need to explain that, and also Pot of Extravagance. One of those cards actually sees play, and one of those cards he was playing. Yes, he was playing Pot of Extravagance, and it actually mattered, theoretically, because of the fact that he could always banish Dark Baltar and have other cards in his extra deck that he could actually summon. What were those cards he could actually summon? Some Cyber Dragon stuff, but he says he never went up against any Cyber Dragon.
And now onto our extra deck.
The most important thing.
The most important thing.
In a Mystic Mind deck.
I didn't end up summoning anything from it today, but we'll take a look at it anyway. We don't play instant fusions. This is from my goat deck. Play one Fortress Dragon, an actual useful card. Didn't come up. Didn't see any Cyber Dragon. 3 Mega Fleet.
So, I want to propose this question to you guys. Is this man justified? Is this man entirely justified for cheating? Because we have to say, he did legitimately cheat. But, I want to ask the question, did it matter? But JCD, are you protecting a cheater? Alright, theoretical strawman, calm down for just a moment while I explain my case. So, we can either think of this under a rules-based paradigm, or we can think about this under results-based paradigm. Let me explain. Under rules, Hobby League cards are banned. If Hobby League cards are banned, Hobby League cards are banned, you cannot use them, does not matter the circumstance, this man should be disqualified. Because he cheated. He hard broke the rules of the tournament. But let's go with results-based thinking on this, which I do want to open the door to. The idea of this is that when it comes to cheating, did it actually ever change the game? His entire extra deck is entirely unsummonable unless the opponent has Cyber Dragon. Let's also keep in mind this idea. Extravagance banishing the cards from his extra deck doesn't necessarily matter if they're all dead cards. Like, it makes no difference whatsoever. It only makes a difference, theoretically, if he could even summon one of them. So if he ever went up against a Cyber Dragon player, that would mean that his extra deck has a card that is theoretically summonable, and therefore would matter if he could choose Dark Balter to be quote-unquote randomly, to be banished off Pot of Extravagance face down, to allow him to get Fortress Dragon. So, it only truly matters if he could summon Chimera Tech Dragons because he was going up against Cyber Dragons. You can also make the case for, like, if he was ever facing Mega Zaborg, I guess, and his opponent had Monster Reborn, but they weren't properly summoned first. But does he have anything that could ignore the proper summoning conditions? There are a lot of random whack cards that are brought up for rulings like this. In fact, I might just make an entire video based on cards with weird rulings around them, or cards that single-handedly make rulings happen for the game. That might be a fun list. If you guys have ideas for that, please leave them in the comments down below. But also, I want you guys' opinion in the comment section. Should this man be disqualified and have his Konami points revoked or possibly even suspended for breaking one of the rules of Yu-Gi-Oh! Intentionally, because he did note that he said, well, they didn't call me out on it. He knows what he did was cheating, technically speaking. He knows what he did was against the rules. But does it really matter if the results don't actually go in the favor of him ever being able to actually cheat? I am curious about what you guys have to say in the comments section, and honestly, I'm open to either interpretation, but I'm leaning more towards don't do anything to him, because honestly, it didn't matter, but it should be given note of. People should know that they can't do this. Because if it ever does matter, it's important, and there might be a card that I'm forgetting about that would actually make this matter that would be played in the meta, but Extravagance is one of them. It's just that he can't summon anything in his extra deck, so I don't know. It's super weird to me. This is a video that I recorded over 3 years ago now, and I just wanted to remake it and make it into something that is a lot more accurate, because I was a lot more inflammatory in the past, and I'd like to reckon for that now. If you guys like this video, then you'll probably like, I don't know, any of my other videos. I've got a lot of them, but I'm gonna choose one specifically for you. Here's one that I talked about, the one card the GOAT format hates, like a lot. It's Xarian Universe. You ever wonder why people talk about it?